and gentlemen, my name is Kevin Jackwitz. This is the Kaged match, and this is a review for SmackDown for November 15th, 2019. And you started out right where I didn't want it to, and this is why I don't watch WWE on TV anymore. I just don't. I don't tune in. I watch it on YouTube. Baron Corbin comes out. He's got some guys carrying him in this little arc throne thing. He makes a bad promo. Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode are there. I don't care. Ziggler and Roode face Ali and Chad Gable. It was a decent match for what it was. Roman Reigns comes out. He eventually spears Corbin, which is the big story there. Ali and Chad Gable get the win. The best parts of this were Ali and Chad Gable. I'm not calling him his stupid gimmick name that they gave him now. It sucks. He's Chad Gable as far as I'm concerned. Then you get the Firefly Funhouse where there's going to be this big change to the belts for the Universal title, and it goes from red to blue. That was it. Literally, that was it. Backstage, you get Baron Corbin, Ziggler, and Roode. Ziggler and Roode are mad. They're telling Corbin that he needs to fix the situation that just happened. Corbin says he'll fix it. Then you get Braun Strowman versus Drew Gulak, supposedly. Gulak is making this promo about how Braun Strowman's not as good as he thinks he is. They got the B team out there. They all jump Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman comes out clean and beats everybody's ass. It was another bad segment. So, from there, you get a New Day interview saying if they think they can do this without Xavier Woods. Last week, they won the titles without Xavier Woods. It was a dumb question. Then you get New Day versus the Revival. It wasn't bad. At the end of the day, the New Day win. And there you go. That was it. Backstage, you get Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura. They're talking to Daniel Bryan about whether he's going to join them or not. Daniel Bryan says, Sami Zayn, if you really had my back, you wouldn't have taken off when the Fiend attacked me last week. I want no part of your group. He says, but why don't you guys think about Braun Strowman? Sami Zayn, of course, starts talking mess about Braun Strowman, who is standing right behind him. So, of course, he takes off very quickly with Shinsuke Nakamura. The Sami Zayn character is a bit over the top and just weird for me, to be very honest. So, it doesn't do much for me. New Day and Revival, the big match story there is really the end of the match. Undisputed Era comes out, and they start whooping up on the New Day and the Revival. The SmackDown roster comes out, and there you go. Part of the SmackDown roster that came out were Heavy Machinery, so they are now staying in the ring to meet Kevin Tibbs and Kip Stevens, a couple of local nobodies who probably weigh 200 pounds together. It was a short squash match that didn't need to be on the show. Heavy Machinery wins, uninterested as I could be. So far, we're probably about 3/4 of the way through the show already. And it's just been bad. Just bad. All the way around. The New Day Revival match was fine, but this is just a bad show. Then you get Sasha Banks and Bayley. They have a short interview. Bayley's interviews are pretty cringeworthy, to be very honest. It turns into a match. Bayley versus Nikki Cross. Shayna Baszler comes out. Bayley jumps over the barricade to escape her. And right behind her is a lot more of the NXT women's roster. And this includes Rhea Ripley, Dakota Kai, Tegan Nox, Mia Yim. And so there's kind of a big fight that happens between the SmackDown women's roster and the NXT women's roster. Bayley is kind of out of the picture at this point. So Sasha Banks says, why don't you guys stick around and have a match? So it turns into Carmella, Dana Brooke, Nikki Cross, and Sasha Banks versus Rhea Ripley, Dakota Kai, Mia Yim, and Tegan Nox. Again, the match itself wasn't bad. It didn't blow me away, but there were some decent spots to it. But they had SmackDown once again go over NXT. I think that this is just bad booking all the way around at this point. It's been literally every main roster team going over on NXT. Every match. Except for the first couple that had Adam Cole in them. Other than that, it's just been the other Raw and SmackDown dominating NXT, and it makes them look weak. So it doesn't make them seem like a viable threat. At the end of the day, you finish with Miz TV, with Daniel Bryan. This was kind of awkward within itself. I like Daniel Bryan's promos usually, but Miz is basically goading him, saying maybe you're washed up, maybe there's nothing left in you, maybe Bray Wyatt's trying to take you out of your misery. Daniel Bryan is saying you don't get it, blah, 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 runs into this speech about how he's a little crazy, Bray Wyatt's a little crazy, so maybe Bray Wyatt sees the crazy in Daniel Bryan and is a threat. Bray Wyatt comes on the Titantron, tries to goad Daniel Bryan into going back into the yes movement, going back into, everything that he was. Daniel Bryan kind of turns it around, but says, if we're going to fight, why don't we do it for the title belt? At which Bray Wyatt says yes and starts doing the yes chant himself, which gets the crowd doing it. And that's where they leave off. And The Miz announces the match for Survivor Series. I guess it happened that fast. But that was SmackDown. Awkward, weird, bad. Those are the words to describe it. You start with a guy who I've said before is untalented. He's not a good talker, and he's not that good in the ring. So I don't understand his star of power or appeal, but they keep using him, they keep pushing him, and I'm bored as hell every time he comes on TV. That's Baron Corbin. I'm not interested in his little feud with Roman Reigns. It could all go out the window as far as I'm concerned. And I think a lot of people feel that way too. And, they're just coming into SmackDown on Fox. They've got declining ratings. And this, in my opinion, has to be one of the reasons why. You're pushing people that people just don't give a shit about. So I tune out. I don't even tune into the channel. I watch it on YouTube. And that's where I'm at. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a 1 out of 10. It doesn't deserve much more than that. I'm not interested in seeing these storylines. I'm not interested in some of these characters. I just don't care. And there it is. So ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this or if you agree with me, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackwoods, Kaged Nation, out.